Hey everyone, Dwayne Johnson here, and let's be honest, the world needs a win right now, especially when it comes to the environment. We're talking about nations making serious moves toward a cleaner, greener future, and trust me, it's more exciting than a perfectly executed rock bottom. So buckle up as we take a trip around the globe to check out the top 10 countries leading the charge in sustainable infrastructure. Get ready to be inspired, because these countries are proving that sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's the blueprint for a brighter future. Let's do this. First up, we're heading north to Sweden, a country known for its stunning natural beauty and its commitment to keeping it that way. Sweden has been a pioneer in sustainable development for decades, and they're not messing around. They've invested heavily in renewable energy sources like hydropower, wind power, and solar power, and the results speak for themselves. Sweden gets over half of its electricity from renewables. That's like bench pressing the weight of the planet, but in a good way. But it's not just about clean energy. Sweden is also a leader in sustainable transportation, with a super-efficient public transportation system and a growing network of electric vehicle charging stations. Now let's talk about air quality. I mean, we all need to breathe, right? And in Sweden, you can breathe easy knowing you're inhaling some of the cleanest air in the world. They've implemented strict environmental regulations and invested in green spaces, making Swedish cities some of the most livable on the planet. Imagine strolling through Stockholm, the capital, without worrying about smog. And speaking of Stockholm, it's a shining example of sustainable urban planning. The city has integrated green spaces, public transportation, and energy-efficient buildings, creating a model for urban sustainability that other cities can learn from. Sweden's commitment to sustainability is truly impressive, and it's clear that they're serious about preserving their environment for generations to come. They're setting a high bar, my friends. Next up, we're heading to Germany, a country known for its engineering prowess, its love of efficiency, and, you guessed it, its commitment to sustainable infrastructure. Germany has been a leader in environmentalism for decades, and they've made incredible strides in green technology and sustainable practices. One of the things Germany is famous for is its extensive and efficient public transportation system. We're talking high-speed trains that can whisk you across the country in hours, and an intricate network of buses and subways that make car ownership practically optional. And speaking of cars, Germany is also a pioneer in electric vehicle technology. They've invested heavily in charging infrastructure and are home to some of the world's leading electric car manufacturers. But wait, there's more. Germany is also a powerhouse when it comes to renewable energy. They've been aggressively expanding their solar and wind power capacity and are aiming to get 80% of their electricity from renewables by 2030. That's like saying you're going to climb Mount Everest twice in a day. Ambitious? Sure. Impossible? Not for Germany. And they're not just building big power plants, they're also encouraging individuals to get in on the action with generous incentives for rooftop solar panels and other forms of distributed energy generation. It's like a nationwide sustainability wave. Germany's dedication to sustainability is truly inspiring. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk, or should I say, driving the electric car. They're proving that a green future is within reach if we're willing to put in the effort. Denmark is the Beyoncé of wind energy. They've been harnessing wind power for decades, a country powered by wind. It's like a utopian novel, but real. Denmark's commitment to sustainability runs deep, constantly innovating for a greener future. And let's not forget about their cities. Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, is often hailed as one of the most bike-friendly cities in the world. I mean, forget cars. In Copenhagen, bikes are king. They have this amazing network of bike paths and bridges that crisscross the entire city, making it super easy and safe to get around on two wheels. And because so many people choose to bike, the air quality in Copenhagen is fantastic. Imagine that, a major city with clean air. But it's not just about bikes. Denmark is also a pioneer in sustainable urban planning. They're creating green spaces, promoting energy-efficient buildings, and implementing innovative waste management systems. They understand that creating truly sustainable cities requires a holistic approach, and they're not afraid to experiment and find new solutions. Denmark is like the sustainable infrastructure lab of the world, and the results are pretty darn impressive. Next up on our Sustainable Infrastructure World Tour, we're headed north to Norway, a country known for its stunning fjords, breathtaking mountains, and you guessed it, a deep commitment to sustainability. Norway is like the poster child for hydropower. They've been harnessing the power of their abundant waterfalls and rivers for over a century, and now, get this, almost all of their electricity comes from renewable sources, with hydropower leading the charge. Now I know what you're thinking, hydropower can sometimes have environmental impacts. And you're right, it can. But Norway is acutely aware of this, and they're working hard to minimize the impact of their hydropower plants on the environment. They're constantly researching and implementing new technologies and practices to ensure that their hydropower is as sustainable as possible. Because in Norway, they understand that protecting their natural environment is just as important as generating clean energy. And speaking of protecting the environment, Norway is seriously committed to preserving its natural landscapes. I mean, have you seen pictures of Norway? It's like stepping into a nature documentary with those towering fjords, lush forests, and pristine glaciers. So it's no surprise that they've implemented strict regulations to protect these natural wonders. They've established national parks and protected areas, and they're promoting sustainable tourism practices to ensure that future generations can enjoy the beauty of Norway. But it's not just about protecting the pretty parts. Norway is also a leader in sustainable forestry practices. They've implemented strict logging regulations and reforestation programs to ensure that their forests remain healthy and productive for generations to come. Norway gets it. They understand that we're all part of this delicate ecosystem, and that true sustainability means finding a balance between our needs and the needs of the planet. Hold on to your stroopwafels, folks, because we're about to dive into the Netherlands, a country that's practically built on water. The name Netherlands literally translates to low-lying countries, so it's no surprise that they're masters of water management. For centuries, the Dutch have been battling the sea, reclaiming land, and building dikes and canals. With rising sea levels, the Netherlands has had to become even more innovative. They're implementing cutting-edge solutions, like building floating houses. But the Netherlands' commitment to sustainability goes beyond just water management. They're also pioneers in green infrastructure, particularly when it comes to transportation. Now, anyone who's ever been to Amsterdam knows that bikes are practically a religion there. The city is a cyclist's paradise, with dedicated bike paths, bike traffic lights, and even bike parking garages. But the Netherlands is also investing heavily in electric vehicles and public transportation. They're building charging stations for electric cars and expanding their already impressive network of trains, trams, and buses. They recognize that creating a truly sustainable future means reducing our reliance on cars and promoting cleaner, more efficient modes of transportation. And the Netherlands is leading the way, proving that it's possible to create a high quality of life while also reducing our environmental impact. Hey there, Nerdfighteria! Welcome back to our countdown of the top 10 countries rocking it in sustainable infrastructure. Coming in at number 6 is Finland. Finland takes its forests seriously, managing them sustainably. They've found a way to utilize their natural resources while ensuring they're around for generations. Finland is a hotbed of clean technology and innovation. They're pioneers in bioenergy, using wood residues to generate clean electricity and heat. Finland's commitment to sustainability extends beyond just technology and infrastructure. They've woven it into the very fabric of their society, promoting sustainable lifestyles and raising awareness among their citizens. Education plays a crucial role in this. Finnish schools integrate environmental education into their curriculum, fostering a deep appreciation for nature and a sense of responsibility toward the planet. They're equipping future generations with the knowledge and values to make sustainable choices. And it's not just about the kids. Finland encourages sustainable transportation options, with well-developed public transportation systems and incentives for electric vehicles. They're making it easier for people to ditch their cars and opt for greener alternatives. So, Finland isn't just building a sustainable future, they're living it. It's a holistic approach that encompasses environmental protection, economic growth, and social well-being. And that's something worth celebrating, DFTBA. Coming in at number 7 on our list is Switzerland, known for its breathtaking mountains and impressive sustainability efforts. Switzerland has long understood that preserving its stunning natural environment is crucial. One of Switzerland's notable achievements is its commitment to renewable energy, particularly hydropower. Switzerland has also been a pioneer in solar energy, especially in mountainous regions. They've even integrated solar panels into noise barriers along highways. Switzerland's commitment to sustainability extends beyond just energy production. They've also made significant strides in sustainable transportation and urban planning. Switzerland boasts one of the most efficient and comprehensive public transportation systems in the world. From its iconic trains winding through the Alps to its extensive network of buses and trams, Switzerland makes it easy and convenient to get around without relying on cars. And speaking of cars, Switzerland has been at the forefront of promoting electric vehicles. They've implemented financial incentives, expanded charging infrastructure, and even have policies in place to encourage the use of electric vehicles in government fleets. They're serious about reducing their carbon footprint. Switzerland's cities are also designed with sustainability in mind. They prioritize pedestrian-friendly streets, green spaces, and energy-efficient buildings. It's all about creating livable, healthy, and environmentally conscious urban environments. At number 8, we have Singapore, a tiny island nation that proves you don't need a lot of space to make a big impact on sustainability. Seriously, Singapore is small, but their ambitions are anything but. Now, Singapore faces unique challenges as a densely populated city-state with limited land and natural resources. But instead of seeing these challenges as insurmountable obstacles, they've used them as opportunities for innovation and creativity. And let me tell you, the results are pretty inspiring. One of Singapore's key strategies has been to embrace vertical development and green building practices. They've implemented strict building codes that promote energy efficiency, water conservation, and the use of sustainable materials in construction. And it's not just about new buildings. Singapore has also been actively retrofitting existing structures to make them more environmentally friendly. They're greening their skyline literally and figuratively. Singapore's commitment to sustainability extends beyond just buildings. They've also invested heavily in creating a greener and more livable city for their residents. Singapore has a remarkable network of parks, gardens, and green spaces that weave throughout the city. These green lungs provide much-needed respite from the urban hustle and bustle, improve air quality, and help to mitigate the urban heat island effect. But it's not just about aesthetics. Singapore has also implemented innovative solutions for water management, waste reduction, and sustainable transportation. They've even built a massive underground drainage system to prevent flooding and capture rainwater for reuse. Talk about thinking ahead. Singapore is a shining example of how a nation can overcome its limitations and become a leader in sustainability. They've embraced innovation, collaboration, and a forward-thinking mindset to create a truly remarkable city-state. Stay tuned as we continue our countdown. Hey everyone, Dwayne here. At number 9, we have Canada, Canada, with its vast forests, pristine lakes, and majestic mountains, has always held a deep respect for nature. This reverence translates into a strong commitment to sustainable practices. Canadians are working towards a greener future, and honestly, with a country that beautiful, who wouldn't be inspired to protect it? One of Canada's biggest strengths is its commitment to renewable energy. They've got wind farms harnessing the power of the prairies, solar panels soaking up the sun from Vancouver to Halifax, and hydroelectric dams generating clean energy from their rivers. Talk about making the most of what you've got. And last, but certainly not least, we arrive at number 10 on our list. New Zealand, the land of the long white cloud. Beyond the stunning scenery, New Zealanders have a deep respect for their environment and a strong commitment to preserving it. They call it Kaitiakitanga, which emphasizes guardianship and protection of the natural world. New Zealanders take environmental respect to a whole new level. New Zealand's sustainable infrastructure is multifaceted. They invest in solar, wind, and geothermal energy, harnessing their natural resources. New Zealand pioneers sustainable tourism, preserving natural beauty for tourism, eco-friendly lodges, responsible hiking trails, and conservation education, showcasing beauty while preserving it. And there you have it, folks. The top 10 countries leading the way in sustainable infrastructure growth. From Sweden's clean energy revolution to New Zealand's eco-friendly tourism, these countries are setting an example for the rest of the world to follow. It's clear that building a more sustainable future requires a global effort, and these countries are stepping up to the challenge. It's inspiring to see the innovative solutions and commitments being made to create a greener and more sustainable world for generations to come. Remember, every step we take towards sustainability, no matter how small, makes a difference. So let's all do our part to protect this incredible planet we call home. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on sustainable living and green innovations. Let us know in the comments which country you think is leading the way in sustainable infrastructure.